So I had an entire intro planned for this video, but I ran into some issues. One, I sold the computer that was supposed to be filmed before I did the intro. Oops, a nice $50 thrift store computer, or $49.49, whatever it was, 50% off on that tag day. I was going to have it over here, but then there was also a hurricane, so the lighting is all messed up. There's a bunch of things in the workshop that don't go in the workshop, but here's a ridiculous trailer, and check out the computer. Comes with a custom airflow modifier, cable adjuster, a fairly flimsy and ugly side panel, CPU cooler's a little loose, the ripjaw RAM is pretty decent, and a 960 2 gig. Came with a whole lot of dust, and as mentioned before, the lovely cable management. I thought it wasn't posting, but it turns out I'm an idiot. But after blasting it into the BIOS, I found that it was worse than I thought. It's an FX 6300, but it booted right up into Windows, and first thing I did was fire up 3D Mark and get the video card and CPU heating up, and I started to hear a weird noise. I thought maybe the GPU fan wasn't really working. Turns out it was actually an errant zip tie from the sweet cable management. But it was exceedingly hot because of the heat wave, and my camera overheated while I was recording. It struggled with 3D Mark. But jumping into games of its era, I had no problem with Tomb Raider at 60 frames per second. Fired up Skyrim, which immediately killed itself. Fortnite at recommended settings wasn't great, but after lightening up some things, and it was pretty playable. I mean, not great, but if you want to jump in, have fun with your friends, it wouldn't be a problem. Rocket League, I believe that was at fairly low settings, but it was fast, so it was fun. Turns out my kid just had a bunch of mods installed, but it still was, 45 to 60. The real question is, even after 3 years, can it run Cyberpunk? And it was pretty definitively answered at default settings as a big fat no. Basically lowered all the settings as low as they could go, and it was still a big fat no. Not really a surprise. And despite its failings at Cyberpunk, which even newer systems do, I was shocked at how well the FX 6300 actually ran. I thought it would be, I remembered it being much worse, but maybe it was my own FX 8300 that was just felt even worse. But overall, it cleaned up pretty nice. It ran some games pretty decent. I was for $50. It's absolutely amazing. And I was able to turn a pretty hefty profit on it as a little side project. So there's nothing to be unhappy about there. Somebody got a system that runs fairly decent. You toss another video card in, and it might actually run Cyberpunk. Not great, but you might be able to play it.